Sure. This next. Well, this is all we're gonna do is have a party. I got a call tomorrow for the party. I got a call tomorrow for the party. Yeah. Is that tomorrow when I call? You got an RSVP, sir? For the 30th? Well, you got an RSVP.
have worked diligently to have this event resurrected, if you will. It will be at the Ramsey Center. And we have had numerous sponsors and got to the point where we were thinking we might not be able to pull it off. And so we reached out to counties to see if they would be willing to provide a little bit of funding to allow this wonderful day to happen for senior adults. And so,
And that's why we're here. She had asked for the 7 western counties if they could come up with $1,000 to give towards this to make this happen. So we're here tonight to ask if the board would approve 500. We got 5 from the town. So we were asking if the board would approve 500 to go towards this event. There's going to be 500.
it's going to be 500 folks from
And
across
it's
the
just a day to
region.
honor. It pays for the space, the food, and they get a good gift bag.
Yeah,
good bag.
and there will be music and
A lot of things. It's just a big day to celebrate seniors, 60 plus.
Is that something that Lori and Mr. Rowland, they do, or is it for the $500? Is that, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure, but I'll get involved.
Yeah,
As Chairman's liaison to the senior services, I make a motion that we approve the $500, take it out of contingency. There will be seniors from Macon County also attending. Several seniors will be attending this event. It's a wonderful event. Nobody's ever got to attend, so I put that in the form of a motion. That money be taken out of contingency toward this senior celebration.
Second. All right, we have a second. Any discussion? Anyone? I'll vote for this. I don't have an issue with it, but just I think moving forward, I think it's just good for this board to have a little bit of heads up on that we're going to be getting some. I just feel like I'm blindsided for a financial request without any.
I think this is something that,
Information, so-
like she'd said before, it's always been done 20-some years by the reservation. And I think this was a kind of a last minute because so many of the seniors were disappointed. So I think if it's more of a last minute, it wasn't thought about a lot before budget time.
All right.
the plan going forward is for it to be a continuing event and for that to be brought up during the budgetary time.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all knew about it until the end of June.
That's not concrete. No, we did not.
Right. Okay. Again, I don't have an issue with it. I'm gonna vote for it because I think it's a good thing. It's just I think from just
Sure,
a matter of
I
procedure
understand.
point, it's almost good when we are gonna have to be spending money to have it on our agenda at some point, whether it's new business or something, so we can at least have a little bit of heads up and do our research on it prior to. So, with that being said, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Additions to anyone else like to address us for public comment? No one else? All right. Additions to or changes to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, there was a request for the preparation of a resolution and a lease from the county to the Macon County Board of Education for a use of a portion of the incubator facility by the STEM group. And that document has been prepared and distributed to each of you. It's not on the agenda, but it does need to be acted upon.
Okay.
Tommy Jenkins is here, and that's the only thing Tommy has, so if there's a way to work him in a little sooner, I know he'd be appreciative of that.
Miss Love's here too. I believe I saw Miss Love.
There's a and no
No, that's in
text.
addition to.
Uh,
I stand corrected, he does have the,
Look at A1.
11A.
All right. Let's
11A as
make
well.
that A1. You can do them both at the same time.
Mr. Chairman, if we could, under new business, item number 11B, Macon County Transit, if we could strike the first one of those agenda items.
Updated system safety plan.
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, under 11G, I guess, just a real short report on a meeting that we'll be having this coming Thursday. It's a second follow-up to our No Wrong Door meeting. Just a short report on that meeting.
You want to do that under reports or
It don't matter.
new business?
Wherever you want to put it, Mr. Chairman.
Just a real short report,
Okay, let's do it under reports then.
90 seconds.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I do believe we will need a closed session this evening to preserve the attorney-client privilege and also to discuss possible acquisition of real property.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Lori?
Teresa McDowell had emailed y'all last Friday about right before an afternoon about those 2007 tax releases. I just wanted to make sure we could put that under 12F as releasing those 2007 taxes.
Okay, it'll be 12G actually. 2007, that's correct. Tax releases.
What's 12F?
It'll be 12. Oh, I'm sorry, under consent agenda.
Consent agenda.
I'm with you. I'm sorry, I was under 11. My
No
mistake.
problem.
Yep, my mistake.
So yeah, just release 2007 taxes as she had emailed to you all.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mr. Chairman, could we strike TNA under old business?
Strike. All right, strike 10A under old business. All right, several changes. Anything else, Mr. Manager?
No, sir.
Commissioners?
Excuse me, Commissioner, but you say to strike 10A,
10A. A is an apple. All right, we get a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion to second, all in favor? Aye. All right. Reports and presentations. New State Division of Aging and Adult Services Award named in honor of Ms. Dorothy R. Crawford, Department of Social Services Director Patrick Betancourt. Welcome to you and Ms. Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, I'm going to ask Ms. Crawford to join me at the podium if she will. You may remember that back at the February meeting, we had a packed house because our Community Social Services Paramedic Program was receiving an award. There were probably a couple of other agenda items as well, but I remember the crowd being there for the Community Paramedic Program. That is an award, the EWALT Bus Award, which was awarded by the Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Aging and Adult Services. Division of Aging and Adult Services recently announced that they've created a new award this year. It's the Dorothy R. Crawford Award, and I'll read this if I can. It recognizes an individual or an organization that has developed innovative strategies related to or had a significant impact on the lives of older adults through adult protective services or guardianship. And in the email announcement, Mary Edwards, who was the lady who presented the EWAL Bus Award to our Community Paramedic Program, indicated that because Ms. Crawford is still active in her community, her church, and in various statewide organizations, as well as the senior Tar Heel legislator, she served as the director of Macon County Department of Social Services. She's an outstanding advocate for the needs of older adults, persons with mental illnesses, and children, and has been an advocate for over 75 years. And that's why the Division of Aging and Adult Services chose to name this award for Ms. Crawford.
Because we had leadership in county commissioners and leadership in mental health, and we wanted, the reason I said they could do this was so that they would know that Raleigh extended beyond Chapel Hill.
Cheers to that.
Thank you,
Well
and
deserved.
keep on keeping on now. Because
Thank
it's
you.
important, isn't
Ms.
it?
Crawford has another appointment this evening.
Okay.
That's how we stay young.
And it's a perpetual, this is an ongoing.
This
It's
is
not
on.
just one time.
This is not just one time. This is an ongoing award that DAS will award every year.
Awesome.
In fact, they're asking for the award for this year.
That's right. That's right. They're asking for nominations for this year.
Thank you, and I greatly appreciate everyone in here is responsible though.
Thank you,
Great
Ms.
job.
Dorothy.
Well deserved. Thank you.
And I've got another meeting that I've you know, you may not know, but you've got the same meeting night as the Legion has, and sometimes it's conflict.
Go get it, Mr. Amazing.
That's for sure. All right, 9B, no wrong door initiative. Commissioner Bill.
This coming Thursday will be the first follow-up. We had a first no wrong door meeting back in May, I think, and now this will be the second follow-up. It will be where we've combined all those ideas. If you remember, we had a real cross-section of the community involved. This will be a follow-up meeting to that after we've compiled all that, and some things have transpired since then. We have received some funding, and we'll know about the rest of our funding hopefully by that date, by Thursday. And so we look forward. We have about 60 signed up so far that's going to attend. Be basically the same folks. It's a real cross section, so everyone is invited. Certainly the board's invited, and so we're looking forward to moving this program forward. We think it's the first program we know of its type, where we can be proactive instead of reactive when it comes to behavioral health and substance abuse. So
Thank you. Can you repeat that? You said
that's
Thursday. What was
Tuesday at
the
2
time?
o'clock from 2 to 5. It'll be at the Macon Bank. Not Macon Bank.
Tuesday or
It's
Thursday?
Integra.
Thursday.
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 Okay. 2 to 5 at the corporate center up on the hill. So everyone's welcome, and I think you'll find it very informative. We'll have some very special guests there, and so we're going to keep moving it forward. So thank you, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, absolutely. Moving on to old business, update on space needs analysis. Mr. County Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And gentlemen, this is not news. We've been talking about it for some time. And Lori and I have reached out. I know Lori has reached out to some other counties, as have I. We've reached out to some architectural firms to create the request for qualifications for the space needs analysis that we, as we have discussed, is a big part of this budget and a big part of the future planning effort, and it works in coordination with the CIP, which we have recently completed. In reaching out to those folks, we have crafted what we think accomplishes the objectives of this board for the space needs analysis. If you'll look, just to go over some things in this RFQ, we plan on issuing it here on page 1. You'll see the issue date is August 27th, 2018. We will receive the sealed qualifications back on Monday, September 24th, 2018 at 2 o'clock p.m. If you keep flipping through some other dates that are important on page 4 here, you will see the anticipated start date for the project would be October 10th, 2018, with a completion date planned for January 25th of 2019. That will work in conjunction with the budget cycle. It should fit nicely with our budget kickoff that we do at the first of the year. So it'll be a good time for us to start looking at that final project as we move into the fiscal year 19 budget. To sum up what this space needs analysis is going to do, if you'll go back to page 3, I think these 5 bullet points here on the focus of the project scope do a great job in explaining what we're looking for here. The first one, it's going to identify and assess our current space that is occupied by various county departments and agencies. The second bullet, it will identify 5 to 10 year projected space needs, which will consider our current and existing space deficits that we have within our county facilities at this time, and it will compare these and assess them alongside the county's CIP recommendations. And as we've spoke all along, these documents are going to work together with each other as we move forward in planning for the future. It will make suggestions from the CIP that we have. It will prioritize those and make suggestions based on these findings that the space needs analysis will uncover over the next 5, 10, 15, and 20 years. So it gives us a look at the near future as well as that 20-year horizon there. Lastly, it will make recommendations with regard to providing for the space needs identified. In other words, could you expand this facility? Do we need or does the need call for a new facility? It will look at things of that nature. And last but certainly not least, an estimate of probable cost. They will give some ballpark cost estimates associated with the findings in this space needs analysis. If you'll notice, with that RFQ, you also had a list. It's an Excel spreadsheet titled Space Needs Project Summary. What you'll see here is the county properties. It's a pretty comprehensive list of those properties that we have either owned by Macon County or that we lease. And it is organized by the building. You'll see here the courthouse. We have the SEC Annex, Courthouse Annex, and Courthouse right there, and you go right along to the Lakeside Drive complex, then which includes Health and Human Services, our detention center, the Animal Control Building. It's that whole 185-acre parcel out there on Lakeside Drive, down through Emergency Services, which is what we call the Yellow Building, the Sheriff's Administrative Building, as well as the Barrett Building there. And then some satellite offices, the Old Murphy Road, where housing is, as you'll see there identified, as well as Thomas Heights, Senior Services. A lot of these facilities that we have been discussing with regards to the future and with regards to space needs in the future. So what we have done is taken that list, as well as some of the spaces that we lease, such as the lease space that we have for the Superior Court Judge, the space we have leased for the dental clinic, and there are certain, we still need to nail them down. We do, I think, have some storage units outside the county where we store different supplies and things. So we want to look at all those things. And we went through this comprehensive list, and the red that you will see highlighted here are the buildings that were selected by administration that had projects in the CIP, and we felt are representative of those buildings that we're conducting business out of on the county level. So in selecting that, we had a total of about 266,000 square feet, 430 acres, a building value of about 28 million, and a land value of about 30 million that this space needs analysis will encompass, and come in and look at these facilities, and again look at any deficits we have now, and look at any projected deficits in the future, and help us better prioritize these needs for the capital improvement plan.
All right, any questions?
I'll make sure two questions I ask.
Yes, sir.
I should understand. On the spreadsheet type sheet, when you go down, I notice the red is buildings that we're going to look at. If it's not in red, then we're not going to look at the building.
Right, and yes, sir.
And so like,
Or that's recommended. We can certainly, if y'all want to, that's why it's good to look at this. If y'all want to put it in there, we certainly can.
well, I was just looking like at the airport, they have planes
Right.
that we could use. So it won't really be duplicate.
Right, and that's what we were thinking too.
And the second question, who do you expect to respond to this?
Architecture firms, that's who we're seeing. Yeah,
That
there's,
specialize in.
yes, sir, yes.
And usually an architect firm will head it up, but then they may kind of subcontract with demographers or interior design people or other people such as that.
Some of the results of these that we have saw in some of the other counties as we were looking together, putting together this RFQ, it's a very detailed study that I think is really going to assist us in projecting for these long-term needs.
Thank you.
You had mentioned the CIP was completed.
Well, yeah, the draft CIP. The
Okay.
CIP, see, it is, the CIP is a living document. And basically, the CIP is a planning document up until the point that we approve a budget with those projects in it. So that, it'll help us better prioritize that planning document.
And we were gonna have a continued meeting discussing that, but that's changed now.
Well, no, we certainly can do that. I just know that, we had mentioned and discussed last meeting that we need to go ahead and get moving on this space needs analysis. I think it is going to aid us in our CIP discussions because it's going to give that third party coming in and looking at numbers, figures, how people going in, people coming out. They go in and do in-depth interviews with the department heads and kind of get a feel for what they're conducting in and outside of that operation. And the firms that do this, of course, will be familiar with many aspects of the business end of what our county departments, the business they're conducting there. I think it can aid us potentially in a lot of ways. Again, the buildings, we've had discussions about senior services building. We've had discussions about other facilities that are filling up to capacity, and this will give us that other set of eyes and help us. I think it will aid us in the discussion of the CIP. So it'll be a useful tool for prioritization in future budgets.
One more question. I noticed none of the parks are included. Are all the parks pretty well built out? Is that why they're excluded, or what?
Yeah, the parks, I didn't know. I did, we did include that Nantahala just because, Commissioner Higdon had mentioned that and wanted to look at that. The other parks, as far as that goes, it's just going to be hard to quantify. What you see with these studies are mostly going into buildings, counting people, and it's really hard to formulate that around them.
So according to this, Mr. Manager, they're due back September 10.
September 24th.
What did I just read?
September 10th was a due date to submit questions.
And October 10th.
For them to submit
Submit
questions to
questions to
us.
us.
Okay.
Yeah, the goal is to try to get it out August 27th or somewhere close to that date. Have it due back September 24th. Since this is an RFQ, it's based on qualifications, not dollars. We'll have evaluation criteria that will, probably be myself, Derek, Lindsay, whoever, we kind of have a little committee to independently review firms. And then we will come to you hopefully on October 9th at our regular meeting with the recommendation, of the firm to move forward. And so the hope is October 9th, you can approve it, and then October 10th, they technically start the work and hopefully can wrap it up by January 25th. Gives them a little over 3 months. The other counties we looked at kind of had 4 months time frame, but given that we would love to have this before we do our budget kickoff, kind of put that date in there, but we've also given the flexibility to say, hey, if these dates look too tight, please provide us an alternative schedule that you think would work better. So that gives the firms responding.
To follow up on Commissioner Gillespie's question, Lori, and I guess you and the county manager certainly look, there are folks out there that's done this in 3 or more counties? I mean, that's one of the,
Yeah, I know that's one of the qualifications. I'm assuming so because the main county that I use this from, they selected a firm based on their criteria of at least three counties.
so that means there's some out there.
Yeah, this firm that they used was out of Charlotte. And, so yeah,
And-
there are some out there.
That's good.
I
That's a good thing.
talked to an architecture firm separate from the one that responded to the RFQ for this one, and they have done this in a few counties in North Carolina as well.
And I think the reason in there is because a county's unique. We're responsible for providing courthouse facilities, sheriff's space, register of deeds, etc. So I think you really want to try to work with a firm that, has that knowledge of counties and the needs there, like as far as courthouse or detention center would go.
What do you need, Mr. Manager? Do you need anything to move ahead?
We were just bringing this to the board, wanted to make sure that you all were on board with it. We do, again, think it's a comprehensive
At
list
least
of
get you started down the road.
what we're looking at. And I would say, as we work back and forth throughout this RFQ process, if anything comes up that we need to put in there, we can certainly discuss that at that time.
Good. Any further questions? What I like about it is it would be real easy to say, I'm Jim Tate, I'm chairman of this board. I know exactly how Macon County ought to spend their money. I know exactly how we ought to expand our facilities. I know exactly what facilities need to be shut down, but it would be basically just my opinion. And it would probably be a biased opinion. But when we have something like this, when you have some people that may not be from Macon County that are coming in and giving an unbiased professional opinion, it kind of takes some of, gives us something to lean on fairly heavily. So I like that. I like it when we have people that do this a lot more than what we do, coming in and taking a peek at what we have and where we're going and making good prognostication, is that a word, of where we're headed.
What was that word?
Prognosticator of where we're headed. So yeah, I'm in favor, and appreciate y'all's hard work on it. So thank you. Paul, and following up with your question, I think I'm ready at this board's discretion to start discussing the CIP and getting it rolling. But I think this is going to be an important key to it, and it'll be the evidence that we probably weigh heavily on when we make a determination on where we move. So
You've got something to face.
that's what I say. It kind of takes some of our opinions out of it.
Now, if these
something to
firms,
lean on, so.
are there any provisions in there, if they've worked with other counties, will there be any comparative level of provided services? In other words, what
Yeah.
level of services do the taxpayers expect us to approve?
Well, the evaluation criteria here in the RFQ, you'll see, experience of the firm, the individuals assigned to the project, references. Oh, excuse me, it will be on the last page of that RFQ, page 6.
I apologize, I haven't read.
Oh, that's fine. And but that is a concern and a very good question. We'll look for references from previous projects as well as the experience of the firm that's dealing with these projects. We'll look at the proposed approach and methodology for conducting the study, how they're going to conduct the study. Then we'll bounce that off of counties that we have been in communication with, see how well it worked for them, the way that these firms are proposing to conduct the study. We'll also look at the proposed schedule for completing the task, and last but not least, the fee structure of the project. So it's going to, putting that criteria in there of having to work with counties in the past, and an RFQ alone is designed to make sure that the most highly qualified firm is rewarded the project rather than the lowest responsible bidder. So there are mechanisms built in, and we always in our RFQ reserve the right to reject any of the RFQ responses.
Good answer. No, the level of services, comparing, say, Macon to Jackson County, what the level of services that we,
I thought you meant the level of service of the
no,
responding
the
firm.
level, if they've done other counties, a lot of our buildings, we're a service industry, is what we are. We're giving services back to the taxpayers who fund everything. But some counties provide more services than other counties, and at some point, I think we need to have discussions, what level. I've heard, we're discussing the senior services center now,
is that standard throughout the county? I've heard mention of a daycare, a public daycare. Are those level of services comparable?
It's not going to compare. It is not going to compare our current level of service to the current level of services in other counties. What it will do is look at our current level of service and look at projected demand for that service based on demographic characteristics, and look and see that we're using the space that we have in the most efficient manner possible to continue meeting the demand of that service. In comparing services to other counties, there are certain ways to do that, and that would be a different type study, like a performance measurement type study, which, you know, and we always try to compare and benchmark, especially with the 7 surrounding counties in this region, and look at budget-wise and how that we're comparing and stacking. But this study it's not going to do that.
Yeah,
It's going to look at us.
facility.
Right.
Good job. We need it.
Great. Anything else? We'll move along. Moving into new business. Come on down, Mr. Jenkins. Renewal of lease with Invatech LLC. Novatech? Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, good to see you again. Quick business this evening. 2 items. Number one is to renew the lease on Novatex, which we have been leasing to in the Business Development Center for the past year. They have our largest space there in clothing distribution, sales and distribution. Their business has gone well last year. They've had another employee. The rate we charge them is actually the highest we've ever charged for a startup business at the Business Development Center, which is $3 a foot. And we would like to continue that as part of their 3-year program. Their
Gentlemen,
second year.
one of the handouts is a colored page showing the space that they lease, and that needs to be added to the lease, which is part of your agenda package.
How many folks they employ here?
They've got 3. And as usual with our leases, we've got a 30-day out in case we had some other project that we needed. They distribute the clothing, design and distribute clothing. It's not manufactured there, but they do the design work and the distribution from there. So, a local couple actually head up this portion of it. Yeah.
Well, that was well, I guess we need to conduct this business
Okay.
first.
Okay.
All right, we can do a motion to approve the renewal of the lease. A motion to approve. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Okay. Want me to go to the next one? You want to ask a
Education,
question?
Go ahead.
Oh, I just
Okay.
say the other blocks here.
Okay. I'll go. I'll follow.
What did you say?
Okay, that's okay. The second one also is we've been working for a while with the STEM program, Macon County Public Schools. We have some space available that they could use for their activities, particularly their robotics program. And we have checked with the EDA, who was the actual lender when we started this project in 1986. To make sure that the use of the use by the STEM program would fall within their requirements. And after checking with them, as far as turns out that we're past the 20-year period where EDC requirements are enforced, so we're clear to sign a lease with them. The lease is actually doesn't involve any money. They won't be paying any rent, just for use of the building. And it's about 1,100 square feet. I have Jennifer Love and Bob Vogel from the STEM program. Jennifer, you you'd like to comment, if she may, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, so the space would be used for this next school year for the Franklin Macon Bots team, which is the high school robotics team. And Tectone has been gracious in allowing us to use a space in their new facility. But last year was our first year, and we discovered very quickly that using drills and saws in their conference room was not what they thought we were going to be doing. And so we were looking for another space that would be more conducive for working on this robot. And our team has grown from 15 students to 25 to 30 students. So we needed a little bit larger space. I don't want to use it just for robotics, so we are also going to be starting an after-school drone club. And I've got the drone sitting in my office right now with the curriculum ready to go. And the materials and supplies purchased for this program are funds from the Golden Leaf Foundation grant, which expires in December, and so those have been reallocated for this program.
Is that part of the STEM project as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're trying to looking at business and industry in our community and find ways that we can provide extra opportunities and training for students in the community. And so after working with some people at the airport and talking with folks out at Clay County, looking at drones was something that we thought might be a good next step.
Unit B, is that the area that's going to be?
Actually, it's Unit E. Yeah.
And this is the same STEM program that in its first year exceeded all expectations. Right?
All right.
About how we did.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's the same STEM program that's going to be instrumental in our craft.
Yeah, the EDC considers this a economic development project as well, just starting in the middle of younger.
All right, so get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm sorry, are you done? I was going to answer Commissioner
Oh,
Higdon's
sorry,
question.
I had another question, I'm sorry.
No, he was going to.
I've got we have actually 3 more spaces available, 2,000-foot spaces and some office space in the front.
The
so,
other 3 are vacant.
yeah. The smaller ones are a little harder to fill, especially since the economy has picked up some. Doesn't seem to be as much people looking to start it. Yeah, Harmony has actually moved up to, yep, everybody's doing good. Duotech's done an expansion also with the industrial park, so all our local industries seem to be doing fairly well now. Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Jim.
thanks, James.
Thank you.
When you gonna move in?
As soon as
Mark?
we can. Yeah, as soon as we can. We're ready.
I found her key.
I know. It's like, where's the keys? Thank you. Yes.
Miss Angel,
Yes, sir.
welcome. Macon County Transit. Looks like we have a few items of business to attend to for you.
Just a
Item 1 was
few.
struck, so continuity of operations.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get my stuff together to get that to you, so I'll be back next month and the next month too, so no worries. We'll get to spend some time
All
together.
right.
So the first one, I hope you've had an opportunity to look over the COOP plan, continuity of operations. This is a plan when we are, and we haven't ever been officially audited, but when our system gets reviewed for compliance with federal regulations, and as part of the system safety plan that I will be bringing to you next month, the new federal requirements for safety require transit systems to have some sort of COOP. And obviously the best way to do that, since we are part of the county, is to have one that is a Macon County COOP. And since I had no clue what to do with it, I sent it to Warren Cabe and said, Warren, you think you can help me out? And so Warren was gracious enough to go through this. It's pretty basic. You know, one of the thoughts is, and the conversation, and I think Warren and I have had this conversation several times over the years, because it's one of those things that we have been asked for, but they didn't really require it until this year. So we've had several conversations. And the last COOP plan that was done for the county was many, many years ago, and transit wasn't even included. And obviously since then, and since we've had a couple of things where transit was needed, then we've been integrated into the plan. And so that's basically what this plan does. Talks about how things will operate in case of a disaster, in case one of the facilities, the county facilities, goes down. And we all know Warren's got a great handle on that, and I think he has put anything in here that would need to be in here. He's put the contacts. Like I said, I can't talk a lot about it because this is not my area. I just have to have this plan and have to have it approved. The one thing that I could mention is that it is going to be required to be updated on a regular basis. Everything I'm going to be bringing you from now on will have to be brought to you annually. Pretty much everything, all of our plans. So we will be taking a look at it. I don't know if it's something that Warren wants to look at and at some point think about expanding into a larger plan, or if he's happy with this, that's again a discussion. But this met the requirements that I had to have because this was a template that was sent to me as an approved template.
Sure, it looks like, I mean, from what I gathered, it's really well put together.
Very well, you know, I can't appreciate
situation, so-
Warren enough for taking the time to go through it and putting in what was applicable to the county. I mean, obviously it was a boilerplate, but there are things that are just applicable to us, and Warren was great about putting that in for me.
Kim, is this gonna, I see some of them are semi-annual, annually, monthly.
Mhm.
Do you have to keep a log, or do you have to submit reports?
We don't have to do any of those. The only thing that we're going to have to do is annually, and this may even become incorporated with the system safety plan, but annually we'll come back for, obviously it'll have to be reviewed at that point, and so I'll be pestering Warren saying, hey, has anything changed in
But
this?
if you do get an audit, you'll be ready. That's fine.
We will have what we need to be in compliance under federal regulations. So that was the premise of doing that. I obviously personally feel like I feel like it's a good thing for the county to have a written document that we didn't have anyway. So I think we're like I said, as far as transit goes, we're good to go the way this plan is written.
We get a motion to approve the continuity of operations plan.
So move as presented.
Got a motion? Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, updated, I don't know if this is, our agenda says Title V, the program actually says Title VI.
It is
so-
Title VI.
Title VI, okay.
It's not-
Updated Title VI plan.
It is actually Title VI. So, and I think that is what you have a copy of in your agenda. I did get that out to you in time. In the meantime, the final revision came back from the Office of Civil Rights. Talked to the lady who took another swipe at it this morning, or over the last week. Got an email from her that says, I have reviewed Macon County's Title VI plan. It's gone through several edits, and I believe with a few minor corrections, it's ready to be presented to the Macon County Board of Commissioners. So her suggestions were, add the date on the cover page, and I printed a new one. I did not make copies for everybody, but I did put the date of today if you so approve. Add log years on the discrimination complaints log, which I did that, and I did make copies for you guys, so you could see that was done. Just wanna make sure that your copies, sorry. I want you to reach across that page. Here you go.
Thank you. Mike is the one that really needs one.
Yeah, I'll make sure he gets one.
Minutes, yeah.
I wanted to make the corrections
Thank
so
you.
that you saw that they had been done before you actually made those. And the second thing was, and I don't know why I didn't have both of these out, I think I just wandered around the room, was, and you'll see another title as well, that on the organizational chart there, as part of the plan, it designates a staff in transit as a Title VI coordinator. And as the plan is written, if you took the time to look at it, it does designate myself as that person. So on the org chart, they want that listed. In addition to that, they also want accountable executive, and that goes back to the system safety plan, which you'll see next month. So, I did want to give you the updated copy of the org chart, make sure everybody's happy with that. Here you go. minor changes. Other than that, nothing in the document that you have as part of your agenda package is different.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the updated Title VI plan?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Thank you, Kim.
Oh, and I updated the table of contents too.
You want me to sign that now? Or?
Actually, yes, I do want you to sign that. There's gonna be some things, and I can't, Derek, I'll catch up with you later. And just one last note while I'm gathering my stuff up, it was mentioned earlier, I just want to make sure that everybody did get the invitation. It did go out to departments and it has gone out to the media. On the 30th of this month, we will be celebrating our 20 years of operation. So we hope that you can join us. We'll be at the transit facility from 2 to 4 on the 30th. So
That's good.
look forward to it.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Yes, ma'am. Good cake.
All right, under new business, item 11C, resolution to abandon a portion of State Route 1617 by the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
Mr. Chairman, as part of those documents that were placed in front of you at this meeting, we have that resolution. This is for a portion of Holt Road, the last 400 feet to be abandoned. The first 2,700 feet of Holt Road will continue to be maintained. In order for this road to be abandoned in accordance with the property owners along that road, the North Carolina DOT request the support of Macon County and request Macon County's opinion. However, Macon County doesn't make that decision, NCDOT does. This resolution would provide them with the go-ahead they desire from Macon County.
Is there any opposition from property owners? Do they know?
In this case, is my understanding, the folks that would be affected by this are 100% in favor of this.
I have a letter here from the president from the Ponderosa Homeowners Association that says there's 26 signed petitions representing all of the property owners who either own homes and or property access through the last 500 feet of Holt Road. This letter also says that it doesn't say it in the DOT letter, but they were requesting that the DOT install one new culvert and clean the ditches prior to them turning it over. My understanding is that this group of homeowners, 26 homeowners, is wanting to start taking care of it and pave it, and couldn't get the DOT to do it. So,
Motion to approve.
a motion to approve. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Chester.
Can we give a short report on while we're on DOT, Mr. Chairman, if you don't care?
Shoot.
We did meet with DOT at Highlands, and a couple of things we need to report on is, number one, the 441 north and south median, beginning at McDonald's, extending down to the fairgrounds. That's been delayed. The Corps of Engineers have had some issues, and that is now scheduled for September. People were asking why that's not been, it was scheduled, if you remember, in April and May. It's now scheduled for September. They had to finish the work, I understand, all the way to the Prentice Bridge, but not, they had to finish the engineering all the way to the Prentice Bridge as the road was, that's where it's eventually going to go sometime in the future, but the work is to begin on the median part, is scheduled now for September. So that's next month. So that was the latest on that. A lot of folks are asking about that.
Okay.
And the monies, it looks like there will be some infrastructure money for bridges and things, not so much for secondary roads as we suspected. So we'll keep the board updated as we continue to work on this magnificent point system that the DOT has.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Bill. Item 11D, agreement to provide recreation opportunities with Scaly Mountain Historical Society. Lori Hall.
Yes, this is our annual agreement that we approve every year. We budgeted $5,000. There's just a slight change to the document that was in your agenda packet. On page 3 of that document, there was section 13, an Iran Divestment Act certification. The legislator changed the law and you no longer have to include that in the agreement. So I have removed that, so that's the only change.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve. A second by Commissioner Gillespie. All in favor? Aye. Fireworks permit application, Grand Finale Entertainment. I think since I've been a commissioner, we've probably received at least 10 of these for Rockwood.
Motion approved.
Got a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Well, you good? That's it for new business. Ratification of board poll, sorry, Mr. County Manager.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. If you'll recall, I contacted each board member individually regarding this incident. Chester had worked with Kim on this, I think, and it was all good. If you guys were good with it, we had an accident. Somebody backed into a transit van at Transit. Basically, we went and got a quote to repair the damage. The gentleman paid us for the cost of the damage. He has paid in full the amount, and basically, in exchange for that, we released him from any liabilities to Macon County.
It was a rather small
Yeah,
matter, I believe, $1,800.
$1,800.
All right.
You need a vote on it?
We just need to
You already
ratify it.
Just
Yes.
ratify.
Motion ratified.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's a good meeting tonight. We'll be 7 p.m., about 2 minutes prior.
We ain't done yet.
Good
You ain't
deal.
done yet.
Almost.
Almost
Consent
there.
agenda. With the addition of the 2007 tax releases, which we received via email. We get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Is there something more?
I
Chester?
think Mike may have sent you a supplement with respect to some minutes. And might
did
want to
see
mention that
That's
as
good.
well. Yeah.
We did receive that supplement Thursday, I believe, via email.
Mike, you did a good job. I don't know how you do it all. You need some help. The supplement was specifically to include the full legal name as well as the transacting business name of the entity that was the lowest responsible bidder on the South Macon School Improvement Project.
I couldn't remember the exact reason, but I knew it was
That was it.
it was a small technicality, maybe a large technicality.
Well,
Could have been.
it just needs to be that way because our contract with that entity reads that way.
Right.
The minutes need to match up with the contract.
Gotcha. We get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion. Second, all in favor? Aye. All right, we have 2 appointments. One is to the library board. We have an application from Andy Schmar, 9911 Buck Creek Road. I attend Rotary. Mr. Schmar is a great individual. He can be a good asset. So,
Motion approved.
a motion to approve, Andy. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then just a little technicality, we have to approve chairman of our TDC boards, and Tony Potts was elected by the Highlands TDC as their chairman. We just need to rubber stamp that one for good.
Motion to
Got a
approve,
motion to
Mr.
approve,
President.
Tony. Got a second by Commissioner Gillespie. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we do have reasons for closed session to preserve the attorney-client privilege and also to discuss acquisition of real property. I expect no.
There's a possibility that there
Possibility.
could be action. If
Following
there
that.
is, it's the type of action that could be reported to the press.
Motion to
email.
go into closed session for the
We
reasons
have a
stated,
motion.
Mr. Chairman.
We've got a motion and a second to go into closed session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yep.
not done.